everyone. In this video, we will study a very important concept in a partial differential equation, that is its formation. Till now, we have learned what is a partial differential equation and we have to learn what is the solution of the partial differential equation and how to calculate that. But here we are going to learn the reverse process. We will form a PDE from the given equation. In short, we will learn how to eliminate a constant and functions to create a partial differential equation from the given function. So let's begin. Formation of PD means we can construct a partial differential equation by eliminating arbitrary constant and arbitrary function from a given relation. So in short, there is a two ways, that is elimination of an arbitrary constant and second is elimination of arbitrary function. Now what does it mean? Suppose we have any given relation, that is ax plus by. Here we have arbitrary constants a and b. We need to remove this one with the help of partial derivatives and accordingly we will get a partial differential equation. And if we have the relation in terms of a function, again we need to remove this arbitrary function f, and with this we will get the partial differential equation. So let's start with the first case, that is the elimination of arbitrary constant from the given relation to form the partial differential equation. So here we need to define a partial differential equation from this equation. So here z is the dependent variable, that is depending upon two variables x and y. A and b are the constants. So how we can remove these two constants? So very first step is we need to take the differentiation of this z with respect to each variable. That means we need to differentiate this first equation with respect to x and y. Let's differentiate with respect to x. So 2 is as it is. Partial derivative of z with respect to x is equal to derivative of this term with respect to x is 2 of x e square and derivative of this term with respect to x is equal to 0 because y is treated as a constant. On the other hand, take its differentiation with respect to y keeping x as a constant. So we get 2 into partial derivative of z with respect to y is equal to this term as a 0 plus 2y into b square. Now think, can we find the values of constant from here? As it contains a square, we can directly fetch the value of a square. So what is the value of a square? That is 1 upon x into partial derivative of z with respect to x. And from here we can fetch the value of b, that is equal to 1 upon y partial derivative of z with respect to y, where 2 is get cancelled with the 2. Substitute these values back into the equation number 1. 2 times of z is equal to x square. The value of a square is 1 by x into partial derivative of z with respect to x plus y square. B square is equal to 1 by y partial derivative of z with respect to y. More simplify this. This results 2z is equal to x times of partial derivative of z with respect to x plus y times of partial derivative of z with respect to y. So this is an equation which contains the partial order derivatives. Therefore, it is called as the partial differential equation, or we can say that which is the required PD. Moreover, in the last video we have learned when we are taking the derivative with respect to x, the notation for that is p, and if we are taking the derivative with respect to y, the notation for that is q. So the another representation for this is equal to 2 times of z is equal to x into p plus y into q. So either write the answer in this format or this, the meaning is same. So what we have done in this case, we have the given equation that contains the arbitrary constant. After that we have differentiate this with respect to the each variable, and that is a differentiate partially. express the values of the constant. Once we have the constant value, we can substitute back into the equation, and that will result the required partial differential equation. Considering another example, here we need to form again partial differential equation that governs the family of the surface. So the point is, again we need to eliminate the arbitrary constants, and here arbitrary constants are a and b. So first differentiate this equation with respect to x and y partially. So this results partial derivative of z with respect to x, that can be also written in this form, is equal to derivative of this term with respect to x is 2 into x minus a, plus derivative of this term with respect to x is 0 because y is treated as a constant. Now take its derivative with respect to y. That can be written as z derivative with respect to y, this, plus 0 plus 2 times of y minus b. In the given expression, we have x minus a and y minus b. We can directly find the value of these factors, and we are getting x minus a is equal to 1 by 2 into partial derivative of z with respect to x, that can be also written as 1 by 2 into p, and here y minus b is equal to 1 by 2 into partial derivative of z with respect to y, or we can say 1 by 2 into q. Now once we have the value of x minus a and y minus b, substitute back into the equation 1, we get the value of z is equal to 1 by 2 into p whole square plus 1 by 2 into q whole square. More simplify this results z is equal to 1 by 4 p square plus 1 by 4 q square. That can be further written as 4 times of z is equal to p square plus q square, which is the required partial differential equation, where p is equal to the partial derivative of z with respect to x and q is the partial derivative of z with respect to y. Let's consider the another case. Here again we need to find the partial differential equation by eliminating the arbitrary constants c and w, where z is given by this form. It means e is not a constant, it is an exponential here. Also check it, this z is depending upon the two independent variable, that is t and x. So rather than it is depending upon y, now it is depending upon x and t. So here we need to differentiate this equation with respect to the independent variables x and t. Now when we take its derivative with respect to x, keeping t as a constant, it means this entire term is constant, and here we can write partial derivative of z with respect to x is equal to constant term, and the derivative of this with respect to x is equal to minus sign of wx into w. Similarly, calculate the partial derivative of z with respect to t. So for that case, x is a constant. If x is a constant, so in this case, cos of wx is treated as a constant. C is already constant, so we can write c into cos of wx as it is. And derivative of this term with respect to t is e raised to power wt into w. Now think, we have three equations. With the help of these equations, can we eliminate all these two constants, that is c and w? Here we are getting a sine, here we are getting a cos. It means we cannot equate them. Even if we are equating first and third equation, so we can eliminate c, but here we are getting an extra term, that is a w. It means it is not easy to eliminate c and w from these equations. Therefore, we differentiate again with respect to x and t. Differentiate the second equation with respect to x. So what this result? second order derivative of z with respect to x is equal to these two terms with this w is constant, so that is as it is, and the derivative of sine is, that is positive cos, and this negative sign is as it is. So we can say cos of wx into w, and this w is as it is. So what this results? This results minus c into w square e raised to power wt into cos of wx. On the other hand, we can take its further derivative with respect to t. So we are getting a second order derivative of z with respect to t as these terms are constant, and take its derivative, that is e raised to power wt into w, and the rest of the terms are as it is. So this results c into w square e raised to power wt into cos of wx. Even we can calculate what is the second order derivative with respect to x and t, that is a mixed order derivative. So if we calculate its derivative again with respect to t, this results minus sine of wx as it is into w, c is a constant, and the derivative of this term with respect to t is e raised to power wt into w. So that results minus c into w square e raised to power wt sine of w of x. Now think we have these three equations. That is a fourth equation. Let it be a fifth, and this is as a sixth. So total number of equations we have 6. From these equations, we need to eliminate c and w. So can you identify how we can remove these two constants? Observe the equation 4 and 5. Both the terms are same, but it contains a negative sign. Here we have a positive sign. So we can replace this entire term with second order derivative of z with respect to t. It means here we can replace this. So this implies second order derivative of z with respect to x is equal to minus second order derivative of z with respect to t. Now think, does it contains a constant? No. Therefore, we got the required PD. So here the PD formation we are getting as second order derivative of z with respect to x plus second order derivative of z with respect to t is equal to 0. So sometimes it is difficult to eliminate the constant with the help of first order partial derivative. So in that case, we can use the higher order partial derivative to eliminate the constant. Let's consider another problem similar to the previous one. Here we need to eliminate these three constants. So we have this relation. Again, the rule is same. Differentiate this equation with respect to x and y, because the independent variable here we have x, y, and z is a dependent. So what is the first order derivative of z with respect to x? That is equal to 2c1x plus, that is 2c2y, and this is equal to 0 because it is not depending upon x. So what is the first order derivative of z with respect to y? That is 0 plus 2 times of c2 into x plus 2 times of c3 into y. Here we have three constants, but we are getting a two equation. So it is impossible to get the value of each constant with the help of two equations. So again we need to differentiate with respect to x and y. So first differentiate the second equation with respect to x again. That results the second order derivative of z with respect to x. That is equal to 2 times of c1. So what is the second order derivative with respect to y? It means first we need to take one time, again differentiate this equation 3 with respect to y. That is equal to 2 times of c3. Another second order derivative we can take it as a mixed order. Initially we can take with respect to x, now we can take with respect to y. What this results? So its derivative with respect to y is equal to 2 times of C2. Even from the third equation, you can calculate its further derivative with respect to the x. We have already calculated with respect to y, again calculate with respect to x. This results 2 times of C2. So from here, we can conclude the constant C1 is equal to second order derivative of z with respect to x by 2. And in general, we can write this as r by 2. From here, we can say that the value of C3 is equal to second order derivative of z with respect to y divided by 2, and the symbolized form of this is t by 2. And the symbolized form of these two mixed derivative is same, that is the s. So what is the value of C2 we are getting in terms of the s? That is the s by 2. Substitute these constant back into the equation number 1. This results z is equal to the value of C1 is r by 2 into x square plus 2 times of C2, that is equal to s by 2 x into y plus C3 is equal to t by 2 into y square. So which is the required PD? Why it is a PD? Because R, S, T are the second order partial derivative. So we can mention where R is equal to the second order derivative with respect to x, S represents the second order derivative with respect to xy, or second order derivative of z with respect to yx, T represents the second order derivative with respect to y. So in this video, we have learned how to form the PD by eliminating the arbitrary constant. In the next video, we are going to learn the formation of PD using elimination of arbitrary functions.